Hi VC, it's Aaron, Mutha Alamer. Today I'm counting down my top 30 underrated Kiss songs. Now, this is a very tough thing for me because I love Kiss so much. They've been one of my favorite bands since the 80s, and they're still, along with Clutch, my favorite band, and the Beatles. Those three are my favorite bands. So my friend JC, my great friend JC from the Flip Side, did a video on this back on Friday, I believe, and he did such a great job, and instantly I wanted to do it, but I didn't have time to do the video over the weekend. So I thought I'd get to it today. And JC's video is amazing. He did songs just from the 80s. And I could have broke it down, 70s, 80s, and then beyond the 80s. But I just decided to do just a top 30 because also my great friend Chris Profi did a video on this. And it's really good. And Logan from Remember Than Hell did a really good video on this. So I got three of my best friends in the violin community doing this before me, so I thought I'd just do a top 30. That's kind of weird reasoning, but that's where I came up with 30 at. And plus, it was kind of easy to get to 30. I really could have did much more than this, but 30 I think was a good place. And my criteria for doing this, I didn't use any song that was a single. I didn't use any songs that were on any of their greatest hit compilations, or any song that appeared on any of their live albums. Now, I'm not counting the off the soundboard or bootleg live ones, just their official live albums, including Unplugged. So any song that appeared on any of those formats, I didn't include in here. So these are really, lesser known Kiss songs to the average Kiss fan. Now, major Kiss fans will know most of these very well, and they might be some of their favorites too. So let me get started here with number 30. And from number 30, it's from the album Hotter Than Hell, and it's the song Mainline, sung by Peter Criss. Love that song. It's one of my favorite songs on this record. And Peter Criss, his songs didn't get as much exposure except for Beth and Hard Luck Woman. But I think he had some of the best deep cuts of any of the members. And Mainline is my number 30. Great song. Okay, at number 29, from Asylum, I got Secretly Cruel. I love that song. It's a great Gene Simmons song, and he did a lot of great songs in the 80s. He didn't do nearly as many as Paul Stanley, but the ones he put out were all great. I thought he would just put out really quality songs in the 80s, and Secretly Cruel, one of my favorite songs from Asylum, is my number 29. At number 28, a great song from Hot in the Shade, one of my favorite Kiss records. It's a lot of people's least favorite, or down on the list very low, but it's one of my favorite records they did. And it's the song Silver Spoon. It's one of my favorite Paul Stanley songs from Hot in the Shade. I absolutely love Silver Spoon. Really interesting guitar work from Bruce Kulick, and it's just a great, catchy song. Love it. Silver Spoon. And thank you, Mike, for sending me this. Mike's Got the Spin sent me this autographed record. So cool of him. And before I get any further, I'll have to say nothing from Kiss made it. Nothing from Destroyer made it. I didn't use any of the songs from these that were extra. And Sonic Boom and Monster, I didn't pick any songs from them because to me, those albums aren't quite as good. I like them both, but every other Kiss album when it came out, I was like on an endless loop listening to it for a week. Those two didn't do that for me, even though I like them, but I just don't, they would have had some if it would have made my top 50. I'll just say that. So, okay, so back to it. At number 27, I got the song Paralyzed from Revenge. Great song from Gene Simmons. Real heavy, killer songs. Almost got a grunge feel to it, which is really cool. Love Paralyzed. Okay, at number, where am I at? 26. Another Peter Criss song from Love Gun, Hooligan. I love Hooligan. It's just so fun. What a great song. And Hooligan, one of my favorite songs off of Love Gun. Amazing song. I love Hooligan. Okay, at number 25. Oh, I'm out of order here. 25. Back to Hot in the Shade. I've got the song Betrayed. Now, that's a great Gene Simmons song. It's the second song on the album. Just real heavy. One of the few songs where there's actually just a little bit of swearing in it, but that isn't why it's one of my favorites. I just love the heaviness and the lyrics, and I've always loved Betrayed. What a great song. At number 20, where am I? 24, back to Asylum with Radar for Love. Great Paul Stanley song. it's this album, the non-singles on this album are so heavy, and I really love the outro of that, where it's just that thing that Bruce Kulick's doing on the guitar, or Paul Stanley, maybe both of them. But love Radar for Love. I think it's a very killer, underrated song. At number 23, lead off track of Unmasked, Is That You? It's actually a cover song, one of my favorite songs on Unmasked, probably it's one of my favorites. I love Is That You? I just think it's amazing. It's way different than the original, and Paul Stanley, it's just a great way to start this album, and it's kind of the least polished song on the album, one of the least polished, except for the Ace songs, and it's just awesome. I love Is That You? At number 22, and now this is the only song that made it from one of my favorite records, but that's just because I don't think many of these songs are underrated. They're just rated just right. So I got Rock and Roll Hell from Creatures of the Night, a great Gene Simmons song, another cover song, but this one has changed so much from the version that Bachman Turner Overdrive did that it's unrecognizable. The lyrics are even a little different, the music's way different, and interestingly enough, Bryan Adams actually co-wrote it. So that's kind of a weird deal with Rock and Roll Hell. Great song. Okay, at number 21, from another, this could be the most underrated record. From Carnival of Souls, the final sessions, I've got In My Head. Really heavy, almost psychedelic Kiss song. And this is where they went almost in a grunge direction, but they did it so well. Maybe their heaviest record they ever did, Carnival of Souls. I love it. And In My Head, just a great Gene Simmons song. I love In My Head. Okay, at number 20, I'm up to number 20, and this is the only song that made it from this record. I love this album. Get All You Can Take from Animalize. One of my favorite Paul Stanley songs. Another one with a little bit of swearing in it. I don't know why I gravitate towards those, but I do. It's not on purpose, but it's because they have an attitude to them maybe. But Get All You Can Take, great song, love it. I know that made it on Logan's list too. Oh, sorry, I don't want to give it away. But his list is awesome. Go check out those other videos. I'll leave links down below. Okay, at number, I got to go back into, where is it? If I can find it. Okay, number 19, from Asylum again. Trial by Fire, my favorite Gene Simmons song on this album. One of my favorite Gene Simmons songs of the 80s. Love Trial by Fire, just those lyrics and so catchy. Awesome song, Trial by Fire. Okay, at number 18, the only song to make it from here, even though I think this is a very underrated record too. I really love this album, and I listened to this so much when it was out. I was so excited, and it's on this record. It's the second song called Within. Great Gene Simmons song. I mean, I was gonna put Into the Void, but that's been on a couple compilations, so that didn't make it, but Within is so good. Love Within. I actually love this whole record. I think this is underrated. Great album, Psycho Circus. Okay, at where am I? Number 17. From Rock and Roll Over, another Peter Criss song, Baby Driver. Man, that song just gets me so pumped up. Love Baby Driver. Been driving on down the road. Love it. So, got Baby Driver from Rock and Roll Over at 17. At number 16, my favorite song on this whole album, Crazy Nights. It's Hell or High Water, Gene Simmons song. My favorite song on Crazy Nights, and I think this is an underrated record too. I like it. It's a little more polished than some of the others, except for Unmasked, but it's really good. It's just, I mean, there's a couple songs with too much keyboard, I think, in it. Other than that, this album just kicks ass. I think it's awesome. And Hell or High Water, my favorite song on it. Love it. At number 15, from the awesome Lick It Up. Such a heavy record. I love this album. And I've got A Million to One, the least heavy song on the record, but it's maybe the best ballad. It's not really a ballad, but it's kind of ballad-ish song from Paul Stanley. And those lyrics make the hair on my arm stand up every time I hear it. I love A Million to One. Just so killer. And man, awesome song, A Million to One. Okay, at number 14, back to Carnival of Souls with Seduction of the Innocent. What a killer Gene Simmons song. Oh my God. That's my favorite song on Carnival of Souls. You know, they had the two big hits, which were Jungle, I mean, kind of big hits, and A Master of Slave was on the radio constantly when it was out. Those are awesome. But probably my favorite song, other than, it might be my favorite, Seduction of the Innocent. Love it. Off Carnival of Souls. Okay, going back to, if I can find it, here it is. This album, Hot in the Shade. You Love Me to Hate You. I think the best deep cut on this album. It's so killer. Paul Stanley sings a little different on it. At first, I didn't even realize it was Paul Stanley singing. I was like, I knew there was an Eric Carr song on it, and I was waiting for it, and I was, is that Eric Carr? And it was Paul Stanley, because Eric Carr came on later with Little Caesar, another good song. But You Love Me to Hate You has always been one of my favorites. I just love the energy of it and how the verses build into the bridge and the chorus. It's awesome. You Love Me to Hate You, maybe my favorite song on this, one of them anyway. I love this album. I think it's so killer. Okay, at number 12. I'm having a little trouble because I'm got albums doubled up here. At number 12, Back to Unmasked with Two Sides of the Coin. Great Ace Frehley song. Maybe my favorite Ace Frehley song on here. He did 3 on here. Talk to Me was a single, so I couldn't put it on. And Torpedo Girl would have made it if I would have been a little further. But Two Sides of the Coin, awesome song. Love it. It's they do play that live occasionally, but it's not really on any of their records that I believe. They're actually official live albums. Okay, at number 11. I'm already up to 11. Holy hell. So at number 11, we are going with Mr. Blackwell from The Elder. Music from The Elder. And I love this album. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. I absolutely love it. My name, Alamare, comes from a song in there, from a line I mispronounced. But Mr. Blackwell, I have great memories of that with my friend Jody. It's kind of an inside joke, but Mr. Blackwell, so killer. Love it. Killer Gene Simmons song. It's kind of evil and kind of just dirty and dark and mid-tempo, slow to mid-tempo, but just so killer. And it's heavy, even though it's slower. It's great. Mr. Blackwell. Okay, I'm up to the top 10 now. And at number 10, back to Love Gun, another Gene Simmons song, Almost Human. Love the trippiness of that song, and Gene Simmons, that's one of my favorite Gene Simmons songs, Almost Human. Can't Help Feeling Strange, so killer, love it. Okay, at number 9, back to Revenge. My favorite song on Revenge, Heart of Chrome. Love Heart of Chrome. Usually I tend to gravitate toward the Gene Simmons songs, but Paul Stanley, some of his are just so good. And Heart of Chrome is actually my favorite song on this whole record, including the singles. It's just amazing. I love Heart of Chrome. Just, oh man, it's just so killer. I love the chorus where you get them both singing back and forth. So killer. Love Heart of Chrome. Okay, at number, where is it? I just had it. At number 8, back to Lick It Up with Not for the Innocent. One of the best Gene Simmons songs. Another one with some swearing. What am I doing here? I'm sorry. But yeah, Not for the Innocent. It's just so heavy and just has that attitude, that killer attitude in it. Love it. Not for the Innocent. One of my favorite Kiss songs. And it made my top 10. Underrated. So there we go. Okay, at number 7, back to Music from the Elder with Dark Light. What an amazing song. Ace Frehley did one song on this record, Dark Light, my favorite song on the record. It's absolutely amazing. And just that dun, 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 dun. I love it. Oh, man. Dark Light, number 7. Number 6. From the studio side of Alive 2, we got All American Man. The lead off of side 4, Paul Stanley song. Man, that song is just so killer. All American, 6 foot Hard Luck, All American Man. What a great song. Love All American Man. Number 5. From Dressed to Kill, we've got Getaway. One of my very favorite Peter Criss songs. It probably is my favorite Peter Criss song. Love Getaway so much. It's just so high energy and just love the lyrics. I love everything about it. The singing, all of the instrumentation. Getaway, number 5. Number 4. From Dynasty, Hard Times, the Ace Frehley song. It's another one I have great memories with my friend Jody, Hard Times. Been growing funny little flowers outside of my windowsill. Man, I just love that song. it's weird how memories from back when you first hear the songs are what make you still really love them. But Hard Times, one of my favorites, maybe my favorite song on this record. Love it. Okay, at number 3, back to, where is it? Oh, there it is. Back to Rock and Roll Over with Mr. Speed. Seriously, one of the most underrated Kiss songs. It was never a single. They hardly ever play it live. And it's so unique for Kiss. It has that unique guitar sound from Ace and Paul on it. And just Mr. Speed is one of my favorite Kiss songs. It'd be in these top 3 would probably be in my top 3 Kiss songs, period. So, Mr. Speed, killer song. And then number 2, from Hotter Than Hell, last song on the album, Strange Ways. Heavy song written by Ace Frehley, sung by Peter Criss, has my favorite Ace Frehley guitar solo. I know a lot of Kiss fans think it's his best solo, and it is just phenomenal. It's just so killer. This whole song is heavy and killer, and that's actually my favorite Peter Criss song. I knew I was missing one. It's Strange Ways. What a killer song. And at number 1, and this was easy for me, easily the most underrated Kiss song, in my opinion, from Kiss Alive 2, studio side, Larger Than Life. I've probably heard that song more than any other Kiss song, and it's just so killer. I remember riding around in the car, my friend had an 8-track, and it only played Larger Than Life and Rocket Ride. So we heard those songs on an endless loop for like a whole summer, driving around, being crazy, and wow, Larger Than Life. I love the lyrics, I love the music, I love everything about it. Just killer. So there we go. That's my top 30 underrated Kiss songs. I know everyone else has a great list that's different, and that's cool. So I will see you on the next one, and have a great day.